Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to start learning about the second algebraic identity, and that is a minus b whole square. Previously, we had learned about a plus b whole square, and now we are going to learn about a minus b whole square. So first, we will be learning how this identity has been developed using its proof. Second, we will be doing questions with respect to expansion using the identity. And thirdly, we will be doing questions of factorization based on second identity. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we are doing the proof. So a minus b whole square. That means it is a minus b into a minus b, right? So what we are going to do? We are going to multiply term by term of a binomial into binomial, right? So starting with that, a into a gives us a square, right? Then a into minus b gives us minus ab, right? Now we are going to multiply minus b into a. That gives me minus ba. And lastly, minus b into minus b. So we have two negatives. So therefore, it becomes positive b square, right? So now, what do we see over here? In middle, we have minus ab minus ba. They are the like terms, though the order is different in the sense first we have AB, then we have BA, but the order is same. I mean, they are like terms, right? So what do we get? A square comes as it is, and we will add minus AB, giving us minus 2AB plus B square. And therefore, this is your expansion for your second identity. So what we got over here is a minus b whole square is actually equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So what you need to memorize with respect to it is the expansion of a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay. Now, let's start the questions with respect to expansion. The first question says expand 4x minus 5y whole square. So first we need to write what is our a. My a is 4x and then b is 5y. I'm writing the identity for the reference a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay. While applying the expansion, when you are doing when you are putting in the second term, which is minus 5y, you don't need to include minus, because as we have seen in the proof, the minus has already been taken care of while developing the expansion, right? So when we substitute the value of b, it is just going to be 5y, but not minus 5y. Okay, let's see how it is going to be. So we have 4x whole square minus 2 into 4x into 5y. Okay, plus 5y whole square. This is what we get when we are doing for the second identity. I did not include minus anywhere after it has already been taken care in the expansion, right? So now doing the square of 4x gives me 16x square. And then what we have, 2 into 4 is 8 and 8 into 4 is 40. Sorry, 8 into 5 is 40. So 40xy. And then what is the square of 5y? It is 25y square, because we need to do the square of 5 and also the square of y. So together it becomes 25y square. And this is your expansion. That's all. Expanding through this identity or the first identity is just a two-step question. Pretty easy, right? The only thing is you need to remember the expansion of a square minus 2ab plus b square, right? Now, starting with the second one. My a is p over here and 9 is the b. So, starting with it, we get p square. Because it is just a single term of p, I don't need to use brackets over here, right? minus 2 into p into 9 plus 9 square. Okay. See, earlier we had two things. We had 4x. So I used a square to actually show that I'm doing the whole square, not just x square. Because one is a very important thing over here. Just see, if you do 4x whole square, it means the square will be applied to 4 as well as x. But if you do 4x square, it means the square is applicable only to x and not to 4. Okay, there is a difference, and that is why brackets were very important when we had a coefficient as well as the variable. Okay, now in this question that we were doing, we did not have any coefficient. So I just wrote p square directly and then 9 square directly. So we are getting p square. Now 2 into 9 is 18. So it is just 18p plus what is 9 square? 81. And that's all. We are done with the expansion. Okay. Now the third part. 1/4 of x. This is my a and 4y is my b. See, now we have got two parts over here, coefficient and the variable. So we will be using the brackets again. Then minus 2 into 1/4 of x into 4y plus 4y whole square. And see, every time I'm just reading it out as 4y whole square. So when you are reading it, even not for anyone else but for your own self, do read it as 4y whole square. This will give you a clarity what you are doing. So now squaring. The square of 1/4 is 1/16 and x becomes x square. The middle term. I can see we have got a 4 in the numerator and a 4 in the denominator. So that helps me to cancel out them, and we are just left with 2xy. The last term, 4y whole square, gives us 16y square. And that's again all with respect to this third question. So now on this screen, we actually learned how to expand the quotients with respect to your second identity, a minus b whole square, right? Moving on. The next set of questions belong to finding the value. Now, how do we understand that these questions are actually with respect to your second identity and not the first? Because if you see the number 98, it is slightly lesser than a number ending with zeros, which is 100, right? And how much less is it? 2 less. So how we are going to convert 98? We are going to convert 98 as 100 minus 2 whole square, right? And it shows us that yes, 100 is our A and 2 is our B. So now we can apply the identity. It gives us 100 square minus 2 into 100 into 2. It is 2AB plus 2 square. Okay. Earlier, I just had a single number which is 100. Still, I used brackets because it had 3 digits. I would have avoided bracket also, but I am actually in the habit of using brackets when there are multiple things to be written and we need to do the square. So 100 square gives us 10,000 minus 2 into 100 into 2. That gives us 400 plus 2 square is 4. Now, simplifying 10,000 minus 400. What does that gives us? It is going to give us 9,600, right? And plus 4. So the final answer becomes 9604. When you do 98 square, if you do it with a traditional multiplication, you can verify that the answer comes out to be 9604. Okay. Now, the next question in decimals, that is 7.9 square. In this question, you will say that, ma'am, it's not closer to any perfect tens number because if you compare it with 10, it is pretty far from that. So what we are going to do, we are going to find the closest one's number even. 7.9 is a decimal number. So see how I'm going to actually write it down. it becomes 8 minus 0.1 whole square. Because when you subtract 0.1 from 8, you get 7.9. So what do we get over here? We have 8 square minus 2 into 8 into 0.1 plus 0.1 square, right? Now 8 square is 64. 2 into 8 is 16. 16 into 0.1 is 1.6. Plus, what is the square for 0.1? 0.01, right? Now we do 64 minus 1.6. So 64 minus 1 is 63. 63 minus 0.6 is going to be 62.4, right? Plus 0.01. So I get my answer as 62.41. See, I did not use any calculation. I did not use calculation in any rough column as well. So what did I do? I just showed you how you can actually do these calculations step by step orally, because the more you involve in oral calculations, the more faster you will be able to solve questions. Okay. Now, the next set of questions. Factorize. Factorize, again I'm repeating, it is very important to learn factorization properly, as it is going to be important for class 8th, 9th, 10th and all the coming years, right? So the first question on the screen, 4x square minus 24xy plus 9y square. The first step comes how to identify that it is your second identity. The same rule as we had done in the first identity, to recognize two perfect square terms, which I can see it is 4x square and 9y square. Over here, we can see the third term, which is middle term, is negative. So the presence of negative with that actually signifies that yes, it is our second identity. So we'll start writing now. 4x square means it is a square of 2x whole square. Then I'll move on with my third term, which is a square of 3y. So here we get that. Now, breaking the middle term, it gives me 2 into 2x into 3y, right? Seems the question is actually something wrong over here. When we are doing 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 3 is 12. So according to the question, it should have been 12 over here and not 24, right? So what do we get? We get the answer as 2x minus 3y whole square. Now, how do we factors? How do we make factors out of it? The factors just become by repeating the bracket as 2x minus 3y into 2x minus 3y, right? So in this question, we learned how we need to identify for the second identity and then how to apply that for factorization. Okay, moving on with the next question. The question says 9a square minus 6a plus 1, right? Perfect square 9a and then 1. 1 is also a perfect square. Whenever you have 1, many times children actually get confused, and ma'am, we can see only one perfect square, which is 9a, because that is quite obvious, right? However, do remember 1 being a simplest number is also obvious over here, as it is a perfect square. So now we get 3a whole square. Lastly, we get 1 square, and then in middle 2 into 3a into 1, right? So what do we get? I get 3a minus 1 whole square, and then just making the factors 3a minus 1, 3a minus 1. So the application is pretty easy when we talk about either expansion or factorization. The rule is just to learn the identity properly, right? Moving on with the third question. The question says 16 over 25x square minus 4xy plus 25 by 4y square. Okay. Which are the two perfect squares given? 16 by 25x square, 25 by 4y square. So let's start with that. Now, What is 16 by 25? 4 by 5x square, right? Now, before I write, quickly think what is going to be the third term over here for 25 by 4 y squared. I'm sure you must have thought it is 5 by 2 y whole square, right? Now, breaking the middle term, we should have over here minus 2 into 4 by 5x into 5 by 2y. It is a multiple term. We have two rational numbers over here. So let's verify if we are getting the right answer or not. I can see if I cancel 5 and 5, 2 and 2, I am left with 4x and y, which is 4xy. And this is same as the given middle term, right? So that means we are on the right track. Hence, we are getting 4 by 5x minus 5 by 2y whole square. So lastly, just writing the factors. 4 by 5x minus 5 by 2y, and then 4 by 5x minus 5 by 2y. And that's all. How easily we have learned and mastered the second identity, right? Which is a minus b whole square. We learned the proof, we did expansion, found the values, and then factorization. In case you have any doubts, do comment, okay? And do practice on the questions. You can pause the video, practice the question before looking at the solution so that it boosts your confidence, right? Happy learning.